Hi everybody. I'm trying to get it in an angle where you can't see the disaster that is my desk. But I'm back. Oh my goodness, I'm back. What a week it's been. I'm just trying to cross my legs. Don't mind me. I'm going to plug my phone in, put it on silent, because otherwise every time I get a notification it goes and it makes it vibrate. Oh, that was loud. Still haven't finished cleaning my desk. Still haven't figured out how I want to set up my two tripods. Still haven't figured out how to get my camera to work with my computer again, which is just ridiculous. I cannot understand why my camera just doesn't want to connect. So I'm recording it I'm just like making a movie with my camera. So it's not on Twitch again, unfortunately. But I wasn't getting a lot of people jumping on the live stream of Twitch, so I'm not terribly concerned about that, but yeah. So, day 11. Today, just a reminder, I have a hard finish of 12:45, so we're not going to dawdle with waiting too long for people to join in. But today we're going to do the spiderweb stitch. I'm going to just bring up my pattern so that I'm remembering correctly, because that's important. I'm not feeling very well today, I'll be quite honest with you all. Just got a headache. Alright, let's get started. We are going to use our variegated floss again. As you can see, I'm starting to run out. I'm a bit concerned, trying not to be concerned, that I've got enough. Also a reminder that the second mitten was set for homework. If you haven't done it yet, there's no rush, but you will want to do the mitten before you do the spiderweb stitch that we're going to do today. You want to do this first, then the spiderweb stitch, so that it will sit right. But we're going to use our variegated floss. We're going to use all 6 strands, and I'm just going to unwind a bunch. Ooh. I don't have a lot left, and that's making me very nervous. Alrighty, I'm just going to thread my needle off camera. And a quilter's knot. Okay. Alright, so there's 2 ways that you can get started with this. I'm going to do I don't know what I should call it, a more convoluted way. It's the only thing I can think of. I'm actually going to grab one of my other blues. Just looking, I'm going to grab the dark one. And I'm going to get this little cut of 2 strands. I'm going to thread that on my other needle, because we need to kind of do similar to the wagon wheel stitch that's down here, where we need to make little spokes. And I kind of like doing it with a thinner amount of thread, but if you are feeling lazy or you don't mind, then you can just use this. I'm kind of also doing it because I'm worried that I'm going to run out of floss, so I'm going to use this because it gets covered up anyway. So we need to make little spokes. I'll show you the finished piece. These little lines here, they're all like little anchors, I guess. So we're going to be making those. You can make them as far apart or as close together as you like. I'll try and match what I've done. So I'm going to come up in the corner and just make a bunch of little lines. You want to try and keep the bottom line on an even plane. Like you don't want to suddenly come up down here or something like that. And I do recommend you try and keep them relatively even spaced. Here I was just thinking, oh, the way I've got my phone angled, I'm not going to bump the tripod, but I just bumped it. So this one's a little bit wider because I'm coming up in the middle of the last two bits. Alright, so that's our little lines. I'm going to flip over my work. Sorry about the mess on my desk. At least it's a bottle of water, show you that I'm trying to stay hydrated. Now that is a giant bottle of water. Alright, so I'm going to leave that needle there because I'll use it later. I'm going to get my variegated floss and I'm going to come up. We're going to do the top and work our way down the stitch. So you can either work left to right or right to left. I'll do left to right. We're going to come up on the inside. So we've got the inside here and we've got the outside here. We're going to come up on the inside of our line, as close to the corner as you can. And we're going to go under the first one. Come on. Under the first one and under the second one. You can do these one at a time if you want to. And then we want to just like nudge it up so it sits up high. Then we're going to run under the second one and the third one. Come on. And then just nudge it up. And then we're going to run under the third one and the fourth one. I'm trying to get my hand out of the way. It's tricky. So when I run under the fourth one, which is the one that I'm currently under and not wrapped around, I want to make sure that I'm going underneath the current cut of floss. And that way they'll all sit nice and evenly. So I'm going under the fourth and the fifth one. We're going to shift them all up once we're done, but I just like them looking nice. Ooh, whoops. I just like them looking all nice while I'm working. So the fifth and sixth one, and then the sixth and seventh one. And then before we finish it off, just going to untangle my needle. We're going to position our little stitches, our little like loops. So they're all up high. And then we're going to poke in on the inside is here and the outside is here. So we're currently on the outside of the little spoke. We're going to move our floss up just a little bit and poke into the fabric on the inside to create the last little loop. And that's our first row. So we're just going to go back. You want to do similar to the sail on stitch, we want, if you're working left to right like I am, you want to continue working left to right. If you come up and then now go right to left, your little wraparounds are gonna look all different, which actually could be an interesting pattern, but I'll leave that to you to trial if you so wish. So again, I'm going in the first and the second one. I came up on the inside of the little spoke, and now I'm going to go in the second and the third. So I've done this one a little bit thinner, this little band, the beanie band, a lot thinner than my test stitch. So I think we're only going to get 3 rows, whereas I got 4 on the other one, but that's okay. Doesn't matter how many rows you do, as long as you fill up all of the spokes height. And that creates our little ribbed look. So because I'm on the last one, I'm just going to wiggle all these up, get them in position, move the floss out of my way, just slightly, and poke in. Oops, so many things around me. Alright, so I'm going to come up back on the left side, right up close to the inside of the first spoke. Oh, my needle is so twisted. There we go. And then go under the first and the second. So I'm just going to do the 3 rows because I am pretty much out of space. So the last one is always going to be tricky because you're not working with a lot of space. So I know my hand's in the way, and I apologise. Okay, so you might notice that we've got like little billows underneath, and that's because we've been we've been looping them underneath the previous stitch. So to fix that, if you don't like it, I recommend you just do some straight stitches, which I'm going to do now. So I'm going to come up on the inside of the first one, like I'd be starting a new row. And then I'm going to come in the left side of the second spoke. And that just fills it out slightly. kind of pretending, but I feel like it finishes the stitch quite nicely. Oops, sorry about that. And the last one doesn't really have as much room, so I'm just gonna move that and fill it in. There we go. So that's our little ribbed beanie end. It's a nice quick little stitch. We will do, it's the same thing on the mittens, so I'm just gonna flip over my work. Tie this off. There we go. Yeah, the same thing for the mittens. I'm gonna do my little spokes in my other floss, just tying a knot in the end. And I'm gonna make these pretty wide because I did them pretty small on my test stitch and it was a little bit tricky to do. So I might only have like 4 spokes. Perfect. Well, I've got this thread already threaded. I'm just gonna jump down here and do these ones. Ow. I poked myself. Just gently. Enough to startle me into an ouch. So you do want to make sure that you kind of cover up the two ends of our little string. That way it looks like they're attached. Alright, I'm going to flip over my work again and tie that off. Oh, come on, please. Just bumping everything. Cables and tripods and devices and so much stuff. There we go. Alrighty. So now we get our lovely coloured floss, which, oh my goodness, mine is super tangled. I actually don't have much left. I could probably do like 1 row. All right, let's do some floss chicken. Floss chicken's always fun. Am I right? No, I'm not right. Okay, so again, this is the inside, this is the outside. I'm working left to right. For this one, I'm going to do right to left so that they look opposite. Just something to remember. But I'm going to come up on the inside of the first spoke, coerce my needle to come through, of course. I'm going to go under the first one and under the second one. And then pull it through, wiggle it up, and then I'm going to go under the second one and under the third one. Under under the third one, and under the fourth one. Or I should say the last one. And then move it all up so it sits the way you want it to sit. See, look how tangled this is. It's just getting in my way. I'm gonna poke my floss on the inside of the very end one and pull through. And then start the next row. So the inside of the spoke, I'm going under the first one. Come on, needle. Get in there. You do what I tell you to do. Alright, and then under the second and the third. Please, without drawing blood. Under the third and the fourth. And then poke in the inside. And we're going to do one more, which is going to be asking a lot. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it, fam. My daughter asked me last night, why do you call us fam? I was like, because you're my family. It actually works with them. Doesn't make sense when I say it to you guys. I guess you're my Instagram family. And my YouTube family. That didn't hurt, it didn't break this, it didn't like make it bleed, it's just I caught like the first layer of skin. There we go. And because that was kind of, that last row was really like forced, I don't have to do all the little straight stitches. I'm quite happy with that. But I do need to flip my work over and cut off my thread. I didn't actually use as much thread as I expected. But that's all I got left. Which is not much. So we'll dump that and we'll get a new cut of thread. Wear your stitchy fam. Exactly. And stitchy fam. Well, that's a long cut of floss. Oof, I'm going to be stretching out long, but it's the rest of my floss. I'm nervous. Am I going to have enough for the rest of the piece? Only time will tell. Oops. I let go of the start of my quilter's knot, which is not helpful for trying to actually make it. Alright, so because, as I said, I worked this one left to right. I'm going to do this one right to left. And it's just the opposite, basically. So I'm going to come up right in the corner on the inside. Oh no, what happened? Oh, okay. Got caught on my desk stand. I'm going to go under the first and the second. Ugh. Phone, could you just not, please? Could you just not get bumped? Alright. And then the second and the third. There's so much floss. I should have cut this in half. Too late now. Pull, 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 pull. And then the last one, we untangle our needle. Wiggle this up a little bit and go in on the inside. There we go. And then we're going to come back to the start and come up. That needs to be moved up actually. Come up on the inside. I knew that was going to happen. Got caught on the tightening mechanism of my hoop. I'm sure that has a real name, like it has its own official little name. Just like, you know how you got your shoelaces and you got on the end of your shoelaces there's like a little plastic bit. There's a name for that little bit. I'm going to poke it on the inside. And the last one. So it's only a very slight visual difference when you're working left to right or right to left. But I quite like those slight little differences. So if you don't feel comfortable doing this in both directions, it's not a big deal. It's not going to like make or break your piece. Alrighty, and that is the spiderweb stitch. I'm just going to wiggle it all around. That's it. How cute are they? Ta-da! We did it. What's the time? Oh, wow. That was quicker than I expected. So that's, oh, thank you, beautiful waxing expert. So that's the stitch we're going to do today. I will just look at my calendar quickly, actually. For now, unless like my computer or my desk catches fire or something ridiculous like that, next week should be as expected. There shouldn't be any hiccups like there was this week. So we will be finishing this piece next week. The stitches we have left is the plaid filling, which is the rug, so the inside of the rug here, and the turkey work, which is the edge of the rug, the ends of the scarf, and the beanie little pom-pom thing up here. And then we're done. The turkey work might take 2 days, but I would expect that we will be done no later than Wednesday, which would be awesome. Thanks so much to everyone for sharing their work while they're going. I love seeing everyone's interpretations of it, and there's been some really cool color combinations that people are doing, which is super cool to see. So I appreciate that and keep them coming. And I hope everyone has an excellent weekend. My weekend is looking very stacked, which is not the worst, but oh god. And I will see everybody on Monday. Bye.